Okay, how you all doing? Let's talk about one thing. One big thing that is missing in African culture. In the whole continent of Africa, one thing is missing in the culture of Africa as a whole. Not only in Nigeria, but as a whole continent of Africa. Let's talk about that thing that is missing. Now, this topic has been on my mind for a while. And usually when I'm talking about Africa, I tend to focus on Nigeria. But in this video, I want to focus on the whole continent of Africa as a whole. Majority of the countries in Africa. I believe Africa, we have maybe 54 or 55 countries. I want to focus on over 50 of those countries. One thing that is missing in that culture as a whole, not only in Nigerian culture, this applies to every country except 3 or 4 different countries. One thing that is missing in our culture. Let's talk about that real quick. Based on my research, I find out that other cultures have this one thing in common. America has it, Japan has it, Europe has it. Name all the developed nations. All the developed nations, they have one thing in common. Canada, Australia, Switzerland, all those developed countries, they have one thing in common. And that thing is missing in African culture. I find out that honesty is a culture. Honesty is a culture. Honesty is a culture. This is missing in African culture. We do have a culture we can sing. We can dance. We are best in giving parties. We have so many good things in our culture. In fact, many artists around the whole world are now going for Afrobeat. And currently, Nigeria has the best musicians in the whole continent of Africa. These people are extremely talented. But what is missing? Let's talk about it. Honesty is missing. My goal is to focus on 3 different areas to prove to you that honesty is a culture. It's a culture that other developed countries have incorporated into their system and their culture. Now, what is culture? Culture is a set of beliefs, to make it short, on a high level. Culture is a set of beliefs that we inherited from who? Who knows? From wherever we got it from. Hey, your culture is what you believe. It's a set of beliefs that were passed down to you. Anyway, honesty is a culture. Africa does not have this in their culture. There is no honesty in African culture, in the whole continent. Let's start from our first level, the government level. Let's speak our government in Nigeria. Would you say 50% of our people in politics are honest in Nigeria? Would you say they are honest? 50%. If you have 30% of people in politics that is honest, that country is doing way good. The country is doing really good. In America, are all the politicians in America honest? Hell no. But I will tell you something. Over 50% of them is honest. Over 50% is honest. Apply the same rule to Canada. Over 50% of people in politics in Canada is honest. Apply the same rule to Australia. Over 50% of people in their government is honest. Apply the same rule to Japan. Over 50% of people in their politics is honest. Now apply the same rule to Nigeria. Can you honestly say that 50% of our politicians in Nigeria is honest? Honesty is a culture. Honesty is a culture. You may not like this, but let me say it anyway. This is a culture that white people have developed. They've put it, honesty, in their culture. And my people, many black countries, many of them, think about their government level. Is the government of that nation honest? What is the percentage of people in their governmental level that you will say are honest? No. Not one. Sometimes it's not 1%. Honesty is a culture. This is lacking in African culture. It's a set of belief that we have not been given. By who? By our forefathers. Am I saying our forefathers are not honest? Yes. It's a culture. Honesty is a culture. Now, the second level. Let's talk about the working sector. The people that have jobs. Would you say in Nigeria right now, 50% of people that are working regularly, they have jobs? Would you say 50% are honest to their employers? Now, apply the same rule to developed countries. In America, over 50% of employees are honest to their employers. Over 50%. Honesty is a culture. Africa doesn't have that in their culture. We don't have it. Honesty is a culture. Developed countries have mastered this and they've put it in their culture. It's their culture to be honest. It's not African culture to be honest. We can dance. It's our culture to eat and dance. But honesty is not our culture. Honesty is a culture, my people. I'm using all the developed nations because in Africa, how many countries are actually considered developed? Tell me, you tell me. 55 countries. You tell me which one is developed. I don't know. Maybe 2. Morocco. Is Morocco developed? I don't know. I'm not going to go into that area. All I can tell you is that even 50%, 50 out of 54 countries are underdeveloped. And think of what is lacking from that 50 countries. Honesty. They know how to dress. They know how to eat. They know how to dance. But what is missing in our culture? Honesty. Honesty is a culture. Honesty is a culture. It's a belief system that we don't have in Africa. We don't have it. We do not have it in Africa. This is not about Nigeria. In the whole continent of Africa, honesty is not in the culture. Tell me, the people that work at the airport in Nigeria, do you think 50% of them are honest? Do you think 50% of people that work at the international airport in Nigeria, when you are arriving, do you think over 50% of them is honest? No. If you can get 10% to be honest, the country will be good. Let's go to the third level. The regular citizens. Nigeria right now has 230 or 220 million people. 230 million people. Do you think over 50% of that are honest people? No, it's not in our culture. Honesty is a culture. In America, I can tell you that more than 50% of people from here, from this country, are honest. Apply the same rule to Australia, developed country. 50% of the population of the citizens are honest. Apply the same rule to Canada. 50% of their population of the regular citizens are honest. Apply the same rule to any developed country. Their citizens, 50% of them or more are honest. Let me speak for my people, actually. Let me speak for Nigerians. Do you think 5 out of 10 Nigerians are honest? No. If you say yes, you must be dreaming, or maybe you are smoking something. Honesty is a culture. Okay, let's summarize this. In Nigeria, on the government level, 50% of our politicians are not honest. On the regular working people, 50% are not honest. Over 50, not even 50%, over 50% are not honest. In the regular citizens, over 50% are not honest. The same rule applies to many countries in Africa. Kenya, Liberia, Congo, Sudan, any African country, Ghana, over 50%. Break everything down. Over 50% is not honest. Honesty is a culture. This is one of the things that developed countries have in their culture. Honesty. They have honesty. These people are honest. More than 50% of them are honest. Can you say the same thing with our people? I was talking to my younger brother the other day, and I asked him, I said, tell me, out of 10 politicians in Nigeria, out of 10, how many do you think are honest? He said maybe 1 out of 10. I will say this, if 1 is honest out of 10, it's a good thing. It's a good thing if 1 is honest. Honesty is a culture. And what can you do without honesty? Nothing. Africa has a good culture. The whole world embraces our culture. People are going there to learn about our culture. But one thing is missing. Honesty is missing. It's not in African culture. There's no honesty. I will see you next time. Ciao.